I did not conquer the world because I was born powerful. I conquered it because weakness nearly killed me before I learned how to survive. Before you call me a monster, let me tell you how a starving, abandoned boy learned to turn fear into power. My name was Temujin long before the world knew me as Genghis Khan. I was born around 1162 on the Mongolian steppe, a place where nature itself seems designed to test human limits. The land is vast, unforgiving, and brutally honest. It does not care who your father is, what clan you belong to, or what dreams you carry. Even my birth is uncertain, no written records, no exact date. That uncertainty followed me all my life. My father Yasuge was a minor tribal leader, strong enough to be noticed, not strong enough to be protected. When I was still a child, he was poisoned by enemies from a rival clan. His death was not dramatic, no heroic final words, just silence. And that silence revealed something far more dangerous than any enemy: abandonment. The tribe that had once followed my father walked away from us. My mother, my brothers, my sisters, and I were left alone on the steppe with no protection, no horses, no allies. On the steppe, loyalty is conditional. It lasts only as long as strength does. Hunger arrived quickly. We ate roots pulled from frozen soil, hunted small animals, and fought among ourselves over scraps. Childhood did not make me innocent. It made me alert. I learned to read faces before I learned to trust them. I learned that survival is not about fairness, it is about adaptation. At one point, desperation pushed me to kill my own half-brother during a fight over food. History remembers this moment as cruelty. I remember it as the moment I understood that morality becomes flexible when survival is at stake. Hunger does not debate ethics. It demands decisions. As a teenager, I was captured by the Teashad clan and enslaved. They placed a heavy wooden collar around my neck to humiliate and control me. That collar became my silent teacher. It taught me patience, observation, timing. I learned how men behave when they believe they hold absolute power. And I learned that most power is an illusion maintained by fear and habit. I escaped not through strength, but through opportunity and, with the help of a man who chose loyalty over safety. That single act reshaped my understanding of leadership. Loyalty freely given is stronger than loyalty enforced. I married Bert when I was young. She represented stability, hope, and the idea that life could be more than survival. Then she was taken by the Merkets. To rescue her, I had to do something dangerous. I had to ask for help. Pride does not survive long on the steppe. I formed alliances with Togrul, a powerful leader, and Jamuka, my childhood friend. Together, we succeeded, but power changes relationships. Jamuka believed leadership belonged to noble bloodlines. I believed leadership belonged to those who proved themselves. We did not argue this philosophy. We fought it out across years of war. Jamuka and I represented two futures. His was aristocratic and rigid. Mine was merit-based and brutal in its efficiency. When I finally defeated him, he asked for a noble death without bloodshed. I granted it not out of mercy, but respect for the bond we once shared. After that, sentiment no longer guided me. Clarity did. I dismantled the old tribal hierarchy. Shepherds became generals. Nobles answered to discipline. Loyalty mattered more than ancestry. When the Mongol tribes united under me, they gave me the title Genghis Khan, ruler of all who live in felt tents. But unity is fragile. I created laws, the Yasa, to enforce order. Theft, betrayal, desertion. These were punished harshly, not because I enjoyed cruelty, but because disorder would destroy everything we had built. Fear was not the goal. Stability was. My conquests did not begin with blind violence. They began with diplomacy. I sent envoys to the Khwarezmian Empire, seeking trade and recognition. They were humiliated and executed. That single decision transformed a regional power into a global target. My response was calculated and total. Cities that resisted were erased. Cities that surrendered were spared. This was not rage, it was psychological warfare. Resistance had to feel futile. At the siege of Chengdu, I learned siegecraft from Chinese engineers. At the Battle of the Indus, I pursued the Khwarezmian Shah across terrain thought impassable. At the Battle of the Khalkha River, my generals used feigned retreats to destroy a larger enemy force. Speed, deception, and intelligence defined my warfare. I attacked where my enemies felt safest and vanished before they could respond. Information traveled faster than armies. Fear traveled faster than both. History remembers fire and blood. It forgets administration. I spared craftsmen, scholars, engineers, and administrators. I adopted technologies, tactics, and systems from every culture I encountered. I allowed freedom of religion. I protected trade routes. I built intelligence networks that spanned continents. I did not destroy civilizations, I absorbed them. Conquest was only the first phase. Integration was the second. I trusted capable men regardless of origin. I rewarded loyalty. I punished betrayal without hesitation. I understood that empires collapse not from enemies at the gate, but from decay within. I divided authority among my sons and generals, ensuring no single weakness could undo everything. Power, if it is not institutionalized, dies with the man who holds it. I died in 1227 during a campaign. The details remain uncertain, and I wanted it that way. My burial place was hidden. No tomb, no monument, no shrine. The steppe raised me, tested me, and reclaimed me. History calls me a monster because monsters are easier to judge than systems. The truth is less comfortable. I was shaped by abandonment, hunger, slavery, and betrayal. I built a world where loyalty mattered more than birth, ability more than tradition, and survival more than sentiment. I ruled through fear, yes, but also through law, order, and opportunity. I did not seek love, I sought survival. First my own, then that of the empire I created. And if that unsettles you, remember this: the world that created me was far more ruthless than the man I became.